like that one. Yeah. So what's up, y'all? Welcome to episode 10 of Safe to Say. And this one's just another one or whatever. I actually recorded this episode 3 different times. And I couldn't kind of figure out how to finish the first segment of what I'm trying to do here. And we're Safe to Say. So Safe to Say, my first 10 episodes was just going to be me by myself for a particular reason, so you guys could get to know me. But today's the day after Election Day. And unfortunately, Donald Trump is the president, the president-elect again. And it is what it is at this point, but we're going to talk about the elections, some politics, and some things I know, So overall, I'm not a fan of Donald Trump. Personally, nothing to do with what he's got going on or what he's trying to do for the country. So personally, he's not going to get my vote. So that's pretty much where I stand. But I'm not against anybody in particular. So let's see what he could do, right? I guess. But that's where I stand. But to make the long story short, it just came out that the DOJ, Department of Justice, just dropped the charges against him. So it's funny because they didn't even let him become president yet, and they already dropped the charges. But we already knew that. Honestly, I thought that was the plan. The whole plan was to get him to become president so they could drop the charges, because there's no president that's ever been arrested for anything. So that would have been a first if he would have lost. So that was my theory on it. And it played out the same way I thought it was. It could have been correct, or it could be something I made up. But nonetheless, that's what it is. All right. Now, where I stand with politics, it's tough, y'all. It's tough because I want to believe that they could help, but then at some point I just kind of vote just because I have to, or not because I have to, because I know that's what was supposed to be done. So I just vote, but sometimes I don't feel like my vote even matters, and you probably feel the same way, So that's kind of how I feel about that, right? Now, born and raised in Brooklyn by a Spanish mom. She always told me when I registered to vote, she was like, "Bobby, you gotta pick Democrat because Democrats is for the poor people." So that's crazy to think about it when you're growing up, and that's what your mom ended up telling you how to vote because of your financial situation. So the good thing is that my son is not gonna get that speech from me, so he's gonna have a different way out. So again, I'm legendarily or naturally Democrat, right? But now I have voted for Republicans in the past. So what does that say? This election I didn't vote Republican. I mean, I could have on the other brackets, but it wasn't necessary this time. But again, I understand that. So the thing about people too, a lot of people don't understand that you don't have to vote with your party. The whole point of your party is so that you could just pick the people to actually get to the finish line, to the end race. But if you get to that end race and the other opponent, which is the Republican, the conservatives, or the independents, right? If they are better than your candidate from the Democratic Party or from whatever party you're from, then you should be picking the best candidate. You should just be picking because of your party. That's kind of like gang mentality. So I learned that a long time ago, and I pick how I feel the candidates are. But then again, you got to think about it too, like if majority rules as far as Republicans or Democrats, and they are going with what each other say, then it's tough for you to vote against your party, because then you got to see if they could win like they win the House and stuff like that, you know? So, complicated. Very complicated. I felt like they set up Kamala to lose. That's how true it is. I feel like they set her up to lose because they had time to like pick another candidate and allow us to, as far as your party, allow us to pick somebody that could actually go up against somebody else. You know what I mean? Like, it was kind of just thrown at us like, yeah, we got to pick her. So there's a lot of people in the world that don't have a party at all. So they're just picking because of what they see, like a popularity contest. Hey, who's saying what? And technically that's how you should do it. But then you have to also think about, okay, well, if you have somebody in office that's already a Democrat and you get this other Democrat in office, they could do work together to kind of fulfill each other's goals or whatever, agenda. But that also works bad too, because then you have two people against somebody else that's just trying to, let's say I was a Republican and I try to come in and I want to make a law or something like that. Now I got these two Democrats against me because if one don't like it, the other one don't like it. So again, this is so complicated, so hard, but that's what it is. Yeah, I hate it. It just means that I'm talking too much, Another thing, so I've really learned, you shouldn't really talk about politics unless you know the person in front of you has a strong mind and understands, is willing to learn and then willing to comprehend and understand, and kind of the same thing, but willing to like have an open mind with it. Because what happens is I just told you, I'm against DT because of something personal. So he can't grab my vote. But that's not gonna make me go out there and, be 1,000% against him. I'm against him for certain reasons. But then it's like, if he brings up a policy that's gonna work, it'll be like, oh, it works, you know what I mean? Like, there's nothing to talk about. But if he brings up his bogus plans like he was doing before, and having other people talk for him and things like that, and not answering questions, and getting like a weird White House vibe for 4 years, if he does that again, it's just like there's no hope for him. But on my end, like I said, speak for yourself. It's my opinion. Right? And right? Shit. Right, then you got I'm just jumping because I'm just trying to talk about everything that I want to talk about, but I'm just jumping. I already told you a bunch of facts. So anyways, they set up Kamala. They end up throwing her under the bus. They said, hey, we want you to become the next thing, and they hyped her up, and you'd be the first female president and things like that, not knowing that not only does she have to reconvince all Joe Biden's votes that she was the better candidate, she had to now persuade all the Donald Trump supporters that she was also a better candidate, and that's 3 times harder. 3 times harder, the way she came in. So unfortunately, that's what happened, and now we just have to wait for the next chapter of America. But we're just gonna have to wait and see, So the reason why I also made this podcast was because I was like, I know a lot of people, like, they think I'm just against shit. I'm against everything, Dude, what the hell? This is the worst blunt ever right now. But I guess people think I'm just against everything, because you're not a Republican or you're not a Democrat, then I don't like you. It's not like that. Sometimes I take it personal when it's somebody close to me It doesn't understand me. I think that's my biggest downfall. So I try to express it in an aggressive manner. I guess just because that's the only way I know how. Cause like me being soft or me being saying things like this, sometimes like most of the time people are not even gonna get to this part of the video. So it's hard for me to kind of drill something into you the way you think I'm gonna be able to do it. A lot of people learn through comedy. A lot of people learn through visuals. You know what I mean? Movies, things like that. So you know, audio is okay, just depending on where you're at. You know, where you're at. It's good that it's going out so much so that you guys can see. You can't be talking on the blunt. You gotta fucking. That's why it's puff puff pass. Or it's 3 pulls. It's 3 pulls max and pass and shit. But I'm facing it, so obviously I'm talking and then coming back to it, and it's like. So yeah, another thing of advice, word of advice for some people. Try not to, like I said, the person in front of you has to be smart enough to understand your conversation, but try not to, I guess, don't try to befriend your friends, you know. I've lost friends on my side. I've even spoken to my other friend recently, and he's a Donald Trump supporter, and he's done lost friends on his side, and it's like, I've definitely learned, like, it is what it is, you know, because some people haven't even registered to vote. You know, that's just the harsh reality, and they don't even know how to. But the fact they probably like so embarrassed or whatever, they're like, I don't vote, I don't want to do that. You know what I mean, like that. And it's just like, so then you looking at them like, yo, what's wrong with you? You scumbag. They're like, yo, what do you mean? Like, they don't mean to be so uneducated. Yeah, I'm done with this one right now because it's annoying. So they don't mean to be uneducated, and I think I've learned that over the years, you know. And then it goes both ways too. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. You know, like when Biden won, I ended up putting the Biden flag on my car, and I drove all through the city with this flag in the car. And I know everybody was tight. And it's the same way like how they doing with the Trump flags right now. So it's like, you know, whatever. You got to be able to humble yourself and take your losses and just, I don't know, just keep on swinging, you know, again. But yeah. And then going back into the whole indictment thing too, like that has never happened. They have never had a president that went to jail for something like that. And Donald Trump has done crazy things that definitely, you know, you already know the whole insurrection or whatever the case may be, whatever that was crazy. You know what I mean? Like, I think if anybody else would have did that, I think they let it slide. Like with the Black Lives Matter, also they let the same thing slide. You know, the riots and stuff like that for the most part, from what I know. But yeah, I don't know. I think the Donald Trump America is the America that's more aggressive. That's you remember when the police didn't give a shit, you know what I mean? Nobody was talking about nothing, and nothing was happening. And all of a sudden they all came out corrupted, corruption. All this stuff started happening. And then Biden had to clean up all that mess, but also try to do what he's doing. And nobody really cares. Nobody's caring about later, they're caring about now. So I guess we need a president that's going to care about now. So if Donald Trump is that guy to care about now, let's see. Like, it's crazy because you don't know. You never know what's going to happen. But yeah, so overall, that was episode 10. You know, I just wanted to, like I said, we're going to keep on getting insight and talking. And obviously this just happened. So those are my thoughts, and that's my opinions on that for the most part. I'm gonna do I'm bringing in some people for the next podcast. I got a couple of people that want to jump on, and we're gonna just talk. So that's gonna be another segment. But yeah, like I said, keep on watching. I appreciate y'all, and take care.